So now we're going to do a step-by-step build of this circuit, and we will look at the power supply to start off with. It's off right now, so it's best to cut off power from the breadboard while you're building the circuit. And you may want to turn it on and off here and there to test that you wired what you need to so far properly, but we're not going to worry about that too much right now. So we have the PNP bipolar junction transistor 2N2907. So we're going to be having, a fair amount of current flowing through it. So I want one that can handle a fair amount of current. So 600 milliamps current instead of the 200 maximum of the 2N3906, which is also PNP. But otherwise, you wire them the same and everything. So again, this will be less than 200. It can go above 200 if you just have that module with 5 volts across it, but this circuit lowers the voltage across it. So in any case, we have the emitter on the left, base in the middle, collector on the right, and in my last video I realized I put it in backwards, so we're going to make sure we don't do that again. So emitter to the left, if I swivel it this way, now the emitter is on top, and that's where I want it. I want the collector down to the negative side of the power supply right there, because it's PNP. Now we have this resistor right there. You might be able to get away without it, but what it does is it helps to make sure that the transistor can see where the positive side of the supply voltage is in relationship to the base voltage, because this LED might throw it off. So it may not. Most circuits I make operate basically the same, whether I have the 10K resistor. That's a 1K resistor. That needs to go to the other side. I think I noticed I didn't see the red band. I'm like, what's going on? And I have this backwards if you're reading the color code. But in any case, there we go. And I didn't realize on the edge of the screen there. We have the 10K resistor there. And parallel, we're going to add our LED module right there. So it has a heat sink, and attached to it is an LED to help dissipate the heat, and probably more so for the resistor right there. You can see how small it is, but you attach it to the heatsink there, and basically it becomes a component that's that big. It gives it more surface area to dissipate heat, and a couple pads to solder the wires on. That was already on there, soldered. So I believe, if you like modules like this, you probably want to get ones that are already wired, I'm guessing, because it's kind of a pain to wire them. It's probably worth it to just pay like 50 cents more or something to have them already wired, in my opinion. But in any case, we have now our LED module. So we should not have any light. If I turn the power on, there might be a faint glow. I can cover it right now, but we don't see that. So I had an issue with a similar circuit where it had a faint glow. I think it was picking up stray signals or something, because this kind of acts like an antenna wherever you got extra wire attached. But in any case, we don't have that problem now, so we're not going to worry about that anymore. Now we have our control for this, and we can leave the power on right now. The light dependent resistor, let's do that first. So I'm going to put it to the positive supply, because you can see there, and then to the base. So this helps keep the transistor off right there. I was just kind of indecisive where I wanted to insert it for no reason, really. Okay, so I didn't have a reason why I was jumping back and forth other than I was indecisive. So that is helping to keep it off. So again, this is why I left the power on. And you can see it's not going to turn on. It's going to be fighting, once we get into focus, the fixed resistor right there. So the value of the fixed resistor matters for sensitivity. We'll probably discuss that in other videos. So that goes to the negative supply there, making a voltage divider. And I thought maybe a problem would be that this 1K resistor didn't plug into the board very well. In fact, okay, I see a slight glow. So I'll try not to cover the light dependent resistor. You can see a slight glow right there. If I cover the light dependent resistor, you see a big glow right there. So that's why I was trying to not cover that. So there we got it, fully wired. Get it darker, that brighter LED turns on. 1 watt LED right there. You don't want to look at it directly when it's on. And we'll do this test right there. There you can see it's somewhat close to 100 milliamps current, depending on how well all of our connections, including the power supply, is. Because again, if you add just a little bit of resistance, that resistor is I think 6.8 ohms that's on that thing. So if we get accumulating about 1 ohm of resistance in all the other connections in series with that LED module, all of a sudden it, you know, the resistance adds up a little bit, cuts down how much current can flow. There you can see it's lower, so I actually made the resistance worse. So I thought we were probably as low as we could get before. Let's do that again. Okay, so we're not going to mess with that anymore. Just realize breadboards are not perfect connectors, and this is getting old. It doesn't connect the plugs as well as it used to either. So yeah, we got the circuit built. In the last video I made, I realized I had put the transistor in backwards, and I deleted the video I was making and then made a video where I showed what happens if you put the transistor in backwards. So it's still working. You know, you get it dark, the LED turns on. You know, you get it brighter, and then the LED turns off. But unfortunately, we're only getting about 20 milliamps of current. That's because it's backwards. So you know, they do still kind of work when they're backwards, but not as good. So that's one way to tell it's backwards. And so I accidentally did that earlier, but now I did it to just demonstrate that. There we go. Now we got basically the current that we want. So this was mostly just intended to be the step-by-step build, not so much an in-depth explanation, but I did explain it for the most part. It's an emitter follower, but since it's PNP, the emitter is on the high side. So whatever voltage you set to the base, it'll be about 0.6 volts higher at the emitter. So it's got to be less than the 5 volts in order for current to flow through the resistors. So you gotta lower it below 5 volts. Remember, it's 0.6 volts higher than what you got there, but it levels off at 5 volts, of course. And so you got to drop this down to about 4.4 volts before any current will start flowing. And you go down, more current will flow. It'll pull the voltage down here, and thus there'll be more voltage difference. And then once you got about 3 volts difference, so about 2 volts right there, that LED is going to start conducting, and the resistor will limit current. And then this resistor is just to help make sure that it senses where that ground is. If you don't have it, maybe it won't draw current through the emitter, and because current will just flow through here. And then since we got that voltage drop, maybe that will just you know, stop it from conducting. Whereas here, we are pretty much guaranteed a current path once the voltage at the base gets low enough.